Hey, what's going on? I'm Ryan Coogler,
co-writer and director of Marvel Studios'
Black Panther.
And today I'm gonna break down Wakanda Forever. Spoiler warning for those who haven't seen our movie yet. T'Challa is currently dying of an unknown disease at the beginning of Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Shuri is desperate to cure him with a synthetic heart-shaped herb. However, she is unable to locate the correct specifications and thus fails. The following scene depicts T'Challa's funeral, which emphasizes the gravity of Chadwick Boseman's death. 1 year later, an armed forces from France tries to steal vibranium from a Wakandan outreach center in Haiti. Queen Ramonda addresses this at a United Nations hearing, where we learn that vibranium exists outside of Wakanda, most likely from a second meteor that landed in the Atlantic Ocean. The vibranium detector that the US government is using to find vibranium on the ocean floor was invented by Riri Williams, an bright MIT student. This places a US government team very close to Talokan, an undersea metropolis that is basically the MCU's Atlantis with Mayan elements, rather than Atlantean ones. The American team is too close to the Empire, according to Namor, king of Talokan. The drilling team is attacked and killed by Talokan warriors. They employ a telepathic attack that induces a hypnotic state in several crew members, leading them to just walk overboard. Several talismans, none of them truly perish, demonstrating their resilience and maybe the existence of a healing factor. Even though Wakanda is now welcomed to the rest of the world, they continue to use the same kind of camouflage shielding technology to protect their borders. Queen Ramonda is making an effort to console Shuri at this difficult time. They travel together to an isolated area of Wakanda close to a river. Here, the queen burns her funeral garb as a symbol of her ready to move on from T'Challa's death. T'Challa is currently in the plane of the ancestors. Shuri rejects these customs. Then Namor interrupts them by appearing from the nearby river. He reveals that Talokan is getting dangerously close to being detected because an American scientist has developed a device that tracks vibranium. Namor suggests an alliance between the two countries to confront the rest of the world because he believes Wakanda's opening up to the outside world is what started it all. Similar to Wakanda, Talokan essentially rests on a vibranium meteorite. The ability to make weapons out of vibranium is now known to the entire globe. Everyone is looking for this metal as a result. It just currently exists, and with countries conducting intelligence, it won't be long until Talokan is discovered, putting innocent people at danger. Namor believes Wakanda is the strongest country on the surface, and in order to defend his people, he wants to join forces with Wakanda so that they can destroy the rest of the world. He wants to kill her, or at the very least capture the researchers who developed the tracker. Once they located Riri Williams at MIT, Okoye and Shuri make their way to her lab, where she built her Mark I Ironheart suit. They eventually fled from the police and the FBI, but the Talokans intercept them. As a result of a direct Talokan strike, both Shuri and Riri are unconscious. Okoye to fight against Atuma and a couple of his henchmen. Okoye fights and effortlessly eliminates the three underlings, as Namora handles the FBI and police. But after being severely injured by her, all three of them get back up. Then Atuma asks to help Namora, so he and Okoye can engage in a traditional warrior duel. Unfortunately, things don't turn out well for Okoye because Atuma severely injured her, dislocating her shoulder and otherwise toying with her. Then Namora interrupts their duel by throwing explosives to Okoye that knocked her into the river as they abducted Riri and Shuri back to Talokan. Okoye's failure causes Queen Ramonda to strip her of her rank and status. She then travels to Haiti in search of Nakia, whom she had tasked with finding Shuri and bringing her back. Nakia has been in Haiti for 6 years at this point. Meanwhile, Shuri and Riri were brought to Namor's underwater dominion. From this point on, as Namor offered Shuri a Talokan history lesson, we learn a lot about this undiscovered society. He was around 450 years old when he was born in 1571. His mother and his people prayed to the Mayan god of rain and abundance when they were threatened by Spanish conquerors. They claimed that this god guided them to a plant that was growing from a shard of an underwater vibranium meteorite. This plant is quite similar to the heart-shaped herb, but it killed everyone who ingested it. but they eventually reborn with superhuman strength, but preventing them from breathing in the air. Again, they went underwater and established the Talokan Empire. When Namer's mother consumed this plant while she's pregnant, he was born with wings on his ankles and the ability to breathe air both above and below the surface. The plan mutated Namer's physiology, so now he can live in the sea or on land, thanks to the oxygen his skin collects from the ocean. When his mother eventually passed away, she asked to be buried in her homeland. However, when Namer took her there, he discovered the Spanish colonists had enslaved everyone. Namer killed all of them. This led him to despise the surface world. As a result, they were kept secret in Talokan for ages. Namer offered Shuri a bracelet made from the fibers of the Talokan version of the heart-shaped herb, as a peaceful indication of his wishes for an alliance between their two countries. Nakia closing in on tracking the Talokan location. Namer also warned Shuri that Talokan would attack the surface world nonetheless, beginning with Wakanda, if they refused to join forces with them. Nakia ultimately located Shuri's beads in the Talokan city, where she saved Shuri and Riri, killing one of the Talokan guard. Naturally, Namer didn't take this very well. This just pushed him even further, and he gathered his army to attack Wakanda as a warning. It becomes clear during this conflict that the Talokans are essentially superior to the Wakandans. When M'Baku tries to attack Namer, he was humiliated when Namer just delivered a punch to him. Queen Ramonda, who's in the throne room with Riri, is then directly attacked by Namer. The queen tries to defend Riri as best she can, but Namer throws an explosive at them, flooding the throne and killing Ramonda in the process. Namer warns Shuri that if they don't submit, he will return in a few days to finish Wakanda. With the death of her mother, Shuri is extremely enraged by Thai. She uses the bracelet Namer gave her to successfully create a new synthetic heart-shaped herb, so she can transform into the new Black Panther. But when she goes to the ancestral plane hoping to see her mother, she instead encounters Killmonger, who essentially gets more fired up by playing on the anger she now has. Due to this, Shuri starts acting aggressively and vengefully, even going against M'Baku's advice. Apparently Shuri was working on new suits that give the wearer superhuman strength, superhuman speed and superhuman durability. Also provided Okoye and Annika 2 additional armor suits based on Stark designs, complete with a helmet and HUD interface, and they are called the Midnight Angels. At this time, Riri constructed her Ironheart Mark II armor. Shuri then leads the Wakandan army with M'Baku and some of his warriors, along with Okoye's Midnight Angel, and the rest of the Dora Milaje. To draw Namer and the Talokans out, they take a ship to the center of the Atlantic Ocean, and use Riri's vibranium detector. Shuri and Riri come to the conclusion that portion of Namer's power originates from the ocean water that still partially clings to his skin. While he battles on land, they turned one of the Wakandan jets into an evaporation chamber to dry out Namer and weaken him. This is where they trap Namer when Riri engaged him in the sky and lured him into the jet. At first, it appears that Wakanda is winning the conflict because Namer has been caught and is being held hostage by Shuri. However, the tables turn quickly. Hundreds of explosives are used by Talokans to bomb the Wakandan ship underneath. Namer uses his vibranium spear to destroy the ship as they crash on a nearby desert. Shuri is shaken up while Namer is clearly weakened. Rather than using this chance to swiftly dive into the water and replenish his strength, Namer became arrogant and attacked Shuri right away. For him, Talokan is the world's strongest country, and he is the strongest Talokan. Unfortunately, his haughtiness overcomes him. Shuri ends up tearing off one of Namer's ankle wings. But since Namer is a much superior fighter, he still has the advantage. Shuri is impaled by Namer's vibranium spear. He then assumes she is dead and lets out a half-hearted imperious Rex yell in his native Mayan tongue. Just like in the comics, Namer starts to slowly hobble back to the water, but Shuri is still alive. She took out the spear and attacks Namer once more, this time igniting the crash jet's engine, scorching him. Shuri hears Ramonda from the ancestral plane, which stops her from channeling her inner Killmonger and come to her senses. She then let Namor live as long as he submits to Wakanda. In return, Wakanda will help protect the Talokan from outside world. Namor concurs, and the two of them return to the ship in time to prevent the Talokans from completely overwhelming the remaining Wakandan forces. Afterwards, there is a ceremony where Shuri is anticipated to succeed T'Challa as queen. M'Baku exits the plane instead of Shuri and challenges for the Wakandan crown. Back in Talokan, Namor questions Namor why he yielded to Shuri. Namor declares, when the outside world attack Wakanda, they will be forced to rely on Talokan, and Namor will achieve his original goal. Everett Ross, a CIA spy, cooperated with Wakanda throughout the entire film. Although he was only attempting to avert a war, Val Contessa, the new director of the CIA, arrested him for conspiring with Wakanda and against the United States. Since no one else was aware that Talokan even existed, the US was almost prepared to invade Wakanda for the most of the movie, because of the hostile actions of Talokans being mistaken for Wakandas. Ross assisted in stopping this, but because of it, he was accused of betraying the United States and lost his freedom. However, Okoye uses her Midnight Angel's costume to stop the car and release Ross, as he is being driven to jail. Shuri forbids Riri from taking the Ironheart suit that she had constructed in Wakanda, indicating that she will be creating a new outfit for her next Ironheart series. There is a hint that Annika and Io are in a relationship, which the Midnight Angels will probably pick up on. Finally, in the credit scene, Shuri and Nakia are seen together in Haiti. Shuri walks off by herself to the beach to dispose her funeral garb, which she initially refused to burn with Queen Ramonda while wearing this outfit. She's finally ready to move on from her brother's death. It's also symbolic of her mother's funeral as well. Shuri has M'Baku take over as Wakanda's leader because she isn't yet ready to become one. However, she has accepted the death in her family and continues to serve as Black Panther Wakanda's protector. She was approached by Nakia with her son T'Challa, named after his father King T'Challa of Wakanda. Thanks guys for watching this Wakanda Forever recap and breakdown. I suggest you watch it in theater now as a tribute to our beloved Chadwick. Also, subscribe to this channel, like and click the notification bell so you can receive future uploads. And by the way, I'm Ryan Coogler, the voice impersonator of Ryan Coogler.